Hey there. Hi. How's it going? Good to see you. We've got another Inside Star Citizen, and I felt this is not only the last one of the season, which means we won't be getting another one for several weeks, probably not till after CitizenCon. It's also a sprint report. We've only gotten 2 sprint reports this year, if you count this one, which is extremely weird and unlike CIG. So I'm interested in seeing what they put in this one. I'm sure it's not anything that's too flashy. They'll save that for CitizenCon, but maybe some interesting stuff that we've been waiting to hear about. I will tell you what that stuff might be and why it might be important if it shows up here. If not, then I'll just make jokes about how we're disappointed and we'll move on. Either way, hope you enjoy. Let's get to it. Hey, dude.
So yeah, I'm back in LA. Everything's the same, kind of weird.
We're in the same time zone. That's weird now.
I don't have my studio anymore. I'm pretty sure they turned it into an Airbnb. There was a family of 4 in there when I looked. But yeah, ISC. Normally, we'd be on hiatus right now. It's October. But since everyone is focused on CitizenCon right now, nobody's really paying attention to what we're doing over here. I think we can actually squeeze a sprint report into things, if that'd be the sort of thing you're kind of interested in. Now, if you've forgotten...
In reality, you really hope that, like, it's not that everyone's busy with CitizenCon, since, like, most of the people should be working on other stuff, and I'm pretty sure that is the case. Like, I think there's actually... Well, yeah. There's a lot of people working at this company. CitizenCon's a big event, but, like, most of them are still working.
What a sprint report is. That's a bit different than a normal ISC. We don't do developer interviews. We don't, the ISC gameplay capture team doesn't create any footage. We literally, and when I say we, I mean me, we dig into the development review folders that are, internal, that are just meant to kind of update everybody internally on where they are on something. And we pull those and present them to you, with me telling you, giving you a little context about what you're looking at. It's not in 4K. It's not professionally created. Nobody, when they made this stuff, thought it would ever be seen publicly. But
I love that kind of stuff.
As honest and as behind the scenes an update as we ever do.
Thank you, Jared. We appreciate it.
Further ado, let's do sprint report, pre-CitizenCon edition. The stuff we can talk about that isn't going to spoil the big events in 2 weeks.
Yeah, there we go. That's the kicker. The good thing about this and not getting any sprint reports throughout the whole year and really just kind of did little bits and pieces of stuff is, like, this could be really a lot of stuff we already know about, but it also, there's a lot of potential stuff that we don't know about that could show up here. And I'm sure a lot of you have already watched this, so you're just waiting for me to see something. I hope. Fingers crossed.
So let's start things off with a look at continuing work on the ship trespass system. Now, ship trespass is the seemingly simple system that will dramatically affect PvP in the verse by correctly determining and setting hostility for uninvited guests. What you're seeing here is one player boarding a ship that is not their own, and of course receiving a warning indicating they're unlawfully entering the ship. This makes them hostile, as well as fair game for anyone else on board to attack without gaining a crime stat of their own, while the intruder will become big crime statted the very moment hostilities break out. Go where you're not supposed to be and risk the consequences.
This seems simple, and I mean, the idea behind it is simple, but, like, man, this is gonna, like, whatever we do with this tool is gonna kind of possibly define how the entirety of Star Citizen's history is handled when it comes to PvP. Like, whether or not people shoot first and ask questions, or ask questions first and are super friendly, like, we might make that decision here in the next year or two with features like this coming online. And oh boy, I don't we do a lot of shooting, I'll say that much.
And yes, this also accounts for you as the ship owner following the intruder back to their ship, where you'll be able to hunt them without fear of getting a crime stat yourself.
Oh, that's really nice.
And you also may notice that the ship owner gets no notification at all. For intruders, your presence is no longer spoiled by automatically joining a comms channel. If the owner of this test doesn't see you, they won't have any indication you're there. at least until scanners and some such come into play later down the line. And as you can see, ship trespass also extends to vehicles and ships as well. So don't go docking somewhere without asking for permission first. Meanwhile, the EU Landing Zone 2 team is continuing their work on extending the new player experience to New Babbage with some new navigational signage you can see here. A lot of news there. As well as adding a few new shops along the critical path to facilitate a better first experience for players.
Kelto and Microtech.
Oh, you can see here.
I don't know, that doesn't seem high-end enough.
Kelto. I blame Board Gamer for this. And the EU PU team has made some changes to beams, tractor, and salvage alike that will now allow for independent operation on vehicles like the Vulture you see here.
Nice.
This will allow users to mix and match tractor and salvage beams for simultaneous yet independent control via dual sticks or gamepad, and provide for more dynamic use cases as resource gathering systems continue to develop.
That does kind of... that fits with their idea of utility mounts and the idea that mining lasers and tractor beams and salvage tools and repair tools and all of the utility tools go on something I'll call the utility mount that is interchangeable. So I'm wondering how far that'll go. Like, could we technically use the Vulture as a 2 mining laser ship? Could we possibly use the Nomad as a mining ship that deposits broken ore onto its cargo bed? Like, how far is that going to go if they're letting us put tractor beams on the Vulture? So that's an interesting idea. Glad to see them still moving in that direction. I also like the better interface.
Not
what are
you
they?
too, Dev.
Hey, Jerry, can you make a quick espresso?
Yeah. Yeah. Hi. They asked if they could make an espresso for us. That was nice.
Oh, yes.
And since many of you are looking forward to... I didn't think they were going to do it right there. And since many of you are looking forward to further iteration
That was pretty good.
on Bounty Hunting,
Let's keep our tour of potential gameplay changes to ships going with the Anvil Hawk.
Oh!
Now, one of our team members on the EU vehicle content team recently completed a first pass sprint revisiting the Hawk to explore a potential new methodology for loading and unloading what I'm just going to affectionately call the wanted, fugitive, and stasis cargo containers, or WIF for short. The idea being that once you've captured and contained your prey in the WIF and set it down behind the ship, this articulating arm would then come out and, using the power of electromagnetism, suck the WIF into its grasp and pull it up inside the vehicle. Yeah, all this for the WIF. Looks pretty good.
That's a terrible noise, man. In my ears.
all right, so it should be noted.
So this is all, that's all to say. Let me just show you guys real quick. The Hawk originally was launched with the idea that you would be putting people in the back like that, but instead of like the pod being like that, it would essentially be, and this is how the ship actually looks right now. If you go and you look at the shipping game, you can kind of see here, like they were basically like, okay, you're going to put their body in there, they're limp, they're getting brought back into the back of the ship and transporting that way. So this is like a really good example of how they will make the ships before the gameplay is there, and then once the gameplay has been essentially funded by the ship's sales over the years, that's what's been happening. It's a simplified version. They can then build the code that develops into this gameplay, and now they're using what they have with the bounty hunting gameplay to make it work with the way the ship was designed. That's solid. I think this is a reasonable application of the pods. I look forward to seeing how they're going to handle the handoff of the player in the pod turning into an NPC when they get put in here and all that kind of stuff. But bounty hunting continues. I really hope we hear about it at CitizenCon. Let's keep going.
Wanted, fugitive, and stasis cargo container is something I made up about 55 seconds ago. and has not been vetted or approved by any member of development staff. But I feel good about my chances.
So let's go ahead.
We all know how good CIG is at naming stuff. I think we can move forward with it.
And stick with vehicles for a bit and look at the old tried and true Freelancer, which is getting some work done to fit all of its necessary item components in ahead of the resource management system coming down the road.
Man, the Freelancer's getting a huge rework for this, but every ship's gonna have to.
Meanwhile, Elwin and our North America vehicle content team have recently completed a first pass sprint bringing the Origin X1 to life, which you can see here is undergoing just a few minor changes from its concept necessitated by continuing to...
Oh yeah, that looks a little bit different. That's looking a little different from the side, is it not? Hold on a second. I feel like there's a bit of a different silhouette in the front there. Let me open this up. Let's put this next to it. Oh, that is very small. All right, put this up. Might be a different angle, but it definitely feels like it's... Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Either way, it's grown on me a little bit.
Development of the vehicle component and resource management systems. Now, while this is still white box, that hasn't stopped the team from also visualizing some baked-in lighting improvements, and overall, even with the subtle shape changes, the X1 is looking fantastic in its white box form and will only continue to look even better as it progresses further down the pipeline towards release.
That's white box. Nice. It's a pretty white box.
We've also got a brief look inside the white box progress of the RSI Apollo Medevac, which is currently in production.
Oh. Okay, so this is one ship that I would love to turn into an exploration ship somehow. Just hack it into that. That would be amazing. God, this looks beautiful. But this is actually a big deal ship in terms of gameplay, medical gameplay. This will be big. We've been waiting for this for a while, so this might actually come with an update to medical gameplay. Maybe we'll start to hear more about that within the next year. White box for the Apollo, a launch fall of next year, maybe? So I wonder if this is the one that they were talking about in the monthly report that was changing the size of some stuff. It's looking a little bit bigger than I remember, but maybe the concepts make it look smaller. This is going to be the ship for anybody who wants to be an actual ambulance. This is almost a clinic with thrusters. This is like a step up from the ambulance.
And I still think the Apollo...
a step up from the Cutlass Red or something like that. And it's going a step further, and I think it will have the ability to have spawn point beds, which would be the tier 1 beds. Please confirm with me in comments. I'm sure somebody will correct that, but that's a pretty big deal. That makes the Apollo pretty powerful.
Exterior looks too damn cool to be a space ambulance. John, Ben, I'm gonna need a spider or a smuggler variant of the Apollo. And no, if you're thinking that's a hint or anything, it's not. It's
exploration.
Just me abusing my platform and position to make a personal request.
Exploration.
Let's talk about the Santaki.yai. We haven't talked about the Santaki.yai in a while.
Haven't had enough of that.
The alien material work continues to iterate as members of the NAVC continue to develop the resources our Xi'an friends would likely use to build their ships from.
Textures.
Through the use of a variety of material maps, they're hoping to land on what's essentially an alien version of carbon fiber. We should add lots of nice detail to the exterior and then add a...
Yeah, this thing's gonna make the freaking Aopoa, what is it called? The Car-to-all. It's gonna make it look so outdated. Look at these freaking textures. Beautiful.
Pearlescent finish that'll really make it shine in the light.
Ooh. It's a nice green. It's like a toxic grass green. A little pearlescent.
We've also got a quick look at the back of the wings.
So much B-roll. Thank you for all of this, guys.
And then let's take a look at the cockpit, which you might remember from our Alien Week update has been a bit of a challenge to get right, wanting of course to give it that alien uniqueness while still being usable by the hands of humans and Zero State alike.
All right, hold on. Besides the fact that that is absolutely true, that like we need to make sure that we have the special stuff for zero state to use. Look at this architecture here. This is like really, really, I love this. They're consistent. They're super consistent on some stuff. Look at the seat here. You see how it's like kind of, I don't know, I guess filleted triangles and like kind of folding intertwined architecture, and the stuff sort of folds into itself. Look at this concept they had for Xi'an ships from, I think, 2017 this is.
Let's take a look at some of the art and animation on display inside some of the larger Xi'an ships. As you can see, there are many design aspects that set the Xi'an ships apart from the UEE craft. Some are obvious, while others are subtler. The Xi'an aesthetic has a certain elegance you might expect from an ancient race that has been travelling the stars for thousands of years. Their doorways, terminals, even the concept of gravity are just different.
So you're really getting like this is the same shapes and stuff, and I'm honestly impressed that they are able to maintain so much of the detail from some of these concepts. Some of the concepts are not nearly as good as the stuff, or some of the in-game's not nearly as good as some of the concepts, but some of these concepts really translate well into the game, and they manage to be super consistent with some of these design cues. I really like what we see from this. I can't wait to see what they do with this on a larger scale with like the Gatak Raylan. This is cool stuff. I like it.
Week update has been a bit of a challenge to get right, wanting of course to give it that alien uniqueness while still being usable by the hands of humans and Zero State alike.
And while we're talking about the Santaki, did you know that we have an entire team dedicated to branding over in the Montreal studio?
We've rarely touched on it, but Nick Forden and his team over there are dedicated to developing the individual visual identities of Star Citizen's several hundred internal persistent universe brands, including this look at Star Citizen's...
Wait. Have we ever seen this? I just realized these are... Oh. This is a cool picture. They put... Look at how close they put Origin and Crusader together. I guess that makes sense. Mirai is equal to Origin, but it's more on the military side. Huh. Anvil is more high design than Aegis. RSI is more industrial. So they're putting Argo at more industrial utilitarian than RSI. That makes sense. RSI is like a nice mixture of utilitarian, military, and a little bit of high design. I've always liked that about RSI. I think they fit like in this really, really nice niche. I'm surprised MISC is more on the high design side than the industrial side, but they're also a really good generalized chip. This is a cool picture. I like this kind of stuff. Yay, go lore. We'll probably talk about this in the podcast coming up after this, which will come out, I guess, yeah, after this. Anyways, continuing.
Several hundred internal persistent universe brands, including this look at the brand document of Aopoa, maker of the Santaki.yai we just looked at. Really tied that together. Now, some folks might write branding off as simply marketing, but the work of this team has been essential to recent improvements to Hurston and Area 18 and New Babbage you just saw, allowing artists and designers alike to create consistent and immersive identities for each location. And as this work extends to nearly every aspect of the verse, it'll continue to help define and refine all visual elements you'll encounter as citizens making your way through Stanton, Pyro, and beyond.
That consistency part is actually really key and hard to do, I think. You know, you have to like look at every single instance. Here we go. Exactly what I was going to say. You have to look at every instance in a game like this, make sure all of these instances are defined as different things, make art for all those different things for all these different brands, and then make sure they're all actually getting applied to the right places. One time it's out of place, it's so noticeable when the effort isn't there. Immersion.
I'm gonna need like a... Yeah? Right now? All right, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
No, stay. Keep doing more.
All right, so I gotta go do this thing, but Chad is right here, so I'm gonna let Chad explain this new improvement that's coming to the cargo system in Alpha 321. Take it away, Chad.
Yeah, so I was doing some work for the tractor beam attachment with the new larger boxes in the game. They are often these longer on one sized boxes. And because of how they can fit together in the ship, across each other in all these kind of complicated ways, sometimes placing them in the ships is a bit tricky, and it can be a little finicky to get it just right, especially in tight corridors with larger boxes. And so I was adding some new functionality into the system so that whenever you're placing them around, if the direct placement underneath the attachment doesn't work, there's some fallback logic that'll look nearby where the placement is to try to find a good placement for the box, so that it makes it essentially more forgiving whenever you're using the tractor beam. In the ships with these larger boxes, you can place it such that maybe it's just a little bit off the thing that would work. And instead of just not giving you anything as far as like placing it, it'll give you another fallback option. And all that really means is that it is a little bit easier and quicker and more intuitive just to drag things around in the ships and get things together.
Yeah, that will be a lot better. A lot of the problems with Star Citizen are, you can't even see here where they're showing this because this is a local environment, but a lot of the problems are around the lag and kind of desync and jitteriness of doing everything, and that doesn't help when the game systems as well don't tell you when something is wrong or something can be better. So more of these systems that can kind of, I'm not saying design the system, I'm not saying design the game around the problems the game has, but this will definitely help to take care of that problem in the short term. It won't be a problem, hopefully, after server meshing is at least kind of smoothed out. But right now, and for cargo hauling in general, this will make things a lot faster and easier. Thank you, guys.
Just a little bit. This is gonna be a life changer, dude.
Yeah. Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, this is what killed me on, just this whole packing system and this tractor beam stuff. This is like, I nearly died on the HullA getting it in, because it is incredibly sophisticated code for this stuff. It's like, I literally read a PhD thesis on packing algorithms implemented. Which is really fun.
Good for you.
It's just the time scale that suddenly I had to operate under because of circumstances out of my control. Made it very intense, but it is very cool, like the stuff that I was doing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it.
This is going to make cargo hauling and just packing and looting in general so much better. I can't wait until we get stuff like this, but in UI terms, like for the inventory, for, oh my God, for like interacting with stuff, systems like this for interacting and picking things up and putting them down. Oh, we need more of that. I love it. This combined with another change that just went into the PTU is the ability to sell stuff from other people that wouldn't be marked stolen. People that are in your party. Like, these are the types of changes that are going to make this game actually feel worth playing for a lot more people. I like them. Good sprint report.
And we're hopeful this goes into 321.
Oh.
This functionality. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a sprint report. Hope you liked it. I'm going to disappear now. We'll be back in about 2 weeks for CitizenCon, then a 2-day event on October 21st and 22nd, emanating from the Los Angeles Convention Center. Until then, be sure you check out Alpha 321, which is currently on the PTU, available for testing. I haven't seen a whole lot of it because I've been traveling, but there are a lot of people really jumping at the chance to point out some new things that weren't in the patch notes. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you. And we'll see you in about 2 weeks in CitizenCon.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. If you're going to be there, make sure to hit us up on Discord. Let us know. We're trying to put together a little meet for the Discord server. This was a good sprint report. As you can see, sprint reports are fun. Like, I think they're the best ISCs we get because we get to hear about a variety of things from different parts of the studio, especially stuff we hear about on monthly reports that we're always talking about. The unfortunate part is we've only gotten 2 this year. And this was a great sprint report, but given how long it's been that we haven't gotten a sprint report, that's kind of expected. So I don't know if saying getting a sprint report every quarter is worth it, since clearly they're working at a speed that they might not have that much to show. But I do think that next year we should get at least more sprint reports leading up to like a big update at CitizenCon. The fact that this was all the not shiny stuff, updates on the cargo, updates on the Apollo, on the bounty hunting, I guess that wasn't huge on bounty hunting. These were solid updates, not shiny, but solid. I look forward to CitizenCon. Hope to see you there. We'll have live coverage going on as well as short form coverage on both channels and Twitter and Twitch. So looking forward to it. Have a good couple weeks. See you later.